And welcome to another episode of the In 90 Minutes podcast. I am your host, Ahmed Salim. With me this evening are Misael Rosa and David Valentin. Our friend John is not feeling 100%. The OCB game yesterday was just too over the top, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So thank you all for joining us. We're so happy to have you with us tonight on after what is we're calling it what game day 3, gentlemen, game day 3. um
Yes.
we'll talk about that in a few, but for those of you watching us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, and every other possible platform on the World Wide Web, thank you for following. If you don't already, please make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Twitch, Blue Sky at In 90 Minute Podcast, and on YouTube and Facebook, and as the In 90 Minutes Podcast, as well as Apple Music. I'm sorry, Apple Podcasts, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. All right.
All good. All
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. So, before we get into the topic at hand, let's talk about a few things going on around the area yesterday. We happened to just be at the OCB game. Orlando City B had their first season opener against the Columbus Crew 2. Um, and I'm gonna say this: take with from it what you will. I didn't get to watch the game on Saturday live, right? And for me, there's a huge difference about watching a game live and watching the replay. But that game that we saw yesterday, that OCB game, was more exciting to me than the game I saw on Saturday. I'm just gonna put it out there. There was more, like, I'll call them butt clenching moments on the OCB game for me, um, than there were on the game on Saturday. Um, so with that said, um, OCB, we had David, myself, and John in attendance, and there's Barrett and Ivy. They were there with us, um, and OCB won 2-1. And I'm gonna say their goals were outstanding. They were outstanding goals. They were not tap-ins. They were straight up the type of goals you'd want to see. So, Misael, I don't think did you watch the game? Were you able to see any of it or not really?
No, I didn't get to see it either.
All right. So that's what I thought. But David, what were your thoughts on the game, my friend?
Yeah. Can we get that quote from our friend Miguel Gallardo before we
Yes,
start?
yes, absolutely.
If you pretend to be a championship caliber team, you have to win your games at home.
Absolutely. The boys did the deed. One thing, the only complaint of the night is when we got there, they were giving out these posters for those in audio. You're gonna have to take my word for it. It's just simple. It's just the logo of the two teams and Orlando City B, Columbus Crew on a purple background and the date. So I'm like, okay, I like to collect like the beginning of the season posters. And on the way out, look at that. Look at this piece of art with our good friend Thomas Williams. A shout out to his dad, always a top man. John and I got to talk to him, and this is just awesome. You know how awesome would have been if they would have given us this at the beginning of the game, and then the fans could have gotten this sign by Thomas. But no, you take it. My son was like, "Well, that we can run back." I was like, "Dude, it's like, it's late. I gotta go to sleep. You gotta go to school. You gotta go to work. Maybe on another occasion. So hopefully that will come through." I gotta tell you, it was a fantastic day out. Is a For those that have never had the opportunity, is a very intimate venue. Oscar Pareja was sitting behind us. You guys know me. I have no shame. I wanted to talk to the guy, but unfortunately, when we John and I got into taking the picture with the kids, which Ivy wasn't feeling it, and we were trying to get them to pose. and I lost track of him. The big man, Alex Freeman, was there. Uh, Tried to talk to him, but I lost track of him in the process of getting that picture. Uh, uh, Sukara was there
In crutches.
in crutches. Yes, he was there with his girlfriend, and it was a good day. Like I said, we spoke with Thomas's dad, and we spoke about the pitch in New York, and I wish I would have asked him, well, what did your son say? To get a reaction from the players that had to play in that place. But it was good. 2 goals to 1 is the final result, and I'm looking here for the goal scorers. I know Taifi was the second goal, and the first one, I don't know if you guys remember who it was.
And he
And
was making his debut. It was his first goal with the team. I don't remember his name, but I remember seeing it.
yeah, let me see here. I'm actually going through the social media, and the it's number uh, 88. So that was uh, clap here. So
Yes.
my apologies if I'm mispronouncing that. It was a fun game. It was a fun game, and you guys know how this goes. Hold on a second. It was a fun game, and it was a great night out. And to the club, thank you very much for thinking of the fans. Hope that this opportunity to go see the boys repeats itself. OCB is a great experience. It's a great day out, and it's for the sickos. It's for the loyal fans, because these are the future stars of the club. I thought all the guys that took on the pitch did fantastic. Some of the guys have been subs the night before in New York, so I thought that the effort was incredible, and that's it. We started with the right foot in. There's a picture of the boys with Luis Muzi, that I thought that exemplified the goal this year, which is to go far in the playoffs and make some noise, but also to develop talent. And just to tell you, we're starting to see those guys that cut their teeth in OCB, at OCB, finally making noise in the first team. So yeah, there's a purpose, there's a mission, there's goals to be met. So for that, like I said, I encourage everybody, if you can make it to a game. I know it's not the easiest place to get to from Metro Orlando, but we had a great time, great evening. The weather was beautiful, and the pitch is impeccable. And like I said, it's a great venue to go to. So yeah, hopefully many of you will be able to make it. And if you can't make the games are either on YouTube or on Apple Plus, depending on the schedule. So YouTube obviously is free. Apple Plus, some games are free, some are not. So there you guys go.
All right. Yeah, that was an outstanding game by the guys. Really, for their first game, um, and I feel like that's a team that you need to give time to gel, right? When we talk about when we have that conversation later, that's the team that needs time to gel. And you know what? They didn't need they those guys were playing like they've been playing together for some time. And you know that there's been a lot of change there because some of those players are obviously playing with us anyway now on the first team. Speaking of which, Alex Freeman was in the stands, Caraballo was in the stands. There was a bunch of them. And I'm curious how that felt for them, being there now that they were previously playing with the B team. So it would have been nice to be able to go chat with them, but I didn't get the opportunity to. All right, so that was OCB.
Right, and then we had some unexpected news Saturday morning. I'm the one. We are the podcast that broke the story on a in 90 Minutes podcast exclusive that you are not going to hear anywhere else. I hear that other people are insiders. Please. Nah, I'm sorry. They might be insiders by betraying the sources to the team and getting them fired. They might be that. Quote me on that. But you know, our good friend Dominic Dwyer, if we can put the picture,
Yep.
as you guys can see there, is playing for Mansfield Township in the English Football League, League One. That's third division of the English football. And how did I find this out?
How
Well,
did you find this out, David? I'm really curious. How did you find this
they
out?
were visiting the Lamex Stadium, home of the Tricky Reds of England, Stevenage Football Club. And there you go. Thank you. Take your drinks. I was shocked because my good friends Dean and Steve, who are the voices of um, Stevenage on BBC's Three Counties Radio. They were talking about him, and I immediately texted them. I said, "Hey, small world, Dom Dwyer, Orlando City legend," and I told them a little bit about him, and that's how they introduced him, Orlando City legend. They're like, "Hey, our friend David in Orlando is letting us know some important information about Dom Dwyer," and there it is. I wish Dom the best. The game ended 1-1. Felt there was a clear red card in a clear handball against Mansfield that I guess the ref, they wanna do his job, and ended up 1-1. Uh, Dom looked like Dom of old. His age is catching up with him, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see him in League Two next year, or perhaps National League. And then perhaps
Oof.
he will call it quits, depending on how that child support is hitting him. That's probably going to dictate how long he's going to be, running on the pitch. He has a baby on the way with his current partner. Congratulations on that. Dom Dwyer to me, we wouldn't have an Orlando City in MLS without Don Dwyer. So I have to say that a gentleman, a great guy on and off the pitch. I have a game worn USL jersey signed by this legendary player, and like I said, we wish him the best. If you want to catch Dom Dwyer on what he's up to, you can download the EFL's I Follow app, and it's $13 per game, or $230 for the season. Now it's less because it's obviously half season. We got 3 more months before the season's over, so you can catch on with that. Or you can, on YouTube, you can watch the highlights. If you want to see how he did this past Saturday, you can find the highlights on YouTube, free of charge, of course. And yeah, it was a pleasant surprise. He last played for Oakland Roots in USL Championship. Before that, he was with our club, and before that, his last foray in MLS was with Atlanta. And I'm saying that without forcing myself to throw up in my mouth. And as you guys know, he left Orlando for Toronto. Before Orlando, he was in Sporting Kansas City. And important beat, important piece of information that may save your life one day is that Don Dwyer remains the only player in American football that won USL and MLS the same year. Double champion, plus he was champion in Division Three NCAA and Division One NCAA with I think it's East Texas Community College and USF. So yeah, the guy did some noise. He's a product of the Norwich Academy. Norwich currently in the championship. So yeah, unless you guys have anything to add, again, Dom Dwyer to me, a great servant for this club. and somebody that deserves to be remembered with kindness and with love and affection. And to paraphrase what a fellow Orlando City fan told me over Facebook, I just hated the way it ended, and I agree. A player of his stature should have had his last game on the pitch and contributions, and not on the sideline hurt. But football is cruel and unpredictable. Gentlemen,
I saw some people on X asking about him. So I had a little chat with some people. They were, I guess, fans, and they were asking of the team that he's on now, and they were asking just what kind of player he was and stuff like that. So I spoke to a couple people on X about it. It was pretty cool.
All right. Sorry, I was trying to figure out. For those of you who are watching us, we're trying to figure out why we're having an issue to some of the destinations. So I'm trying to kind of work on that in the background. But coming up this Friday, in other news, we have the Orlando Pride home opener. This Friday, I believe it is at 7:30 p.m. if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
I am going to try to make it, and I have up here on the screen um, a tweet by Mike Ramajo, and it says here that the Orlando Pride kick off the 2025 regular season on Friday against the Chicago Stars. He was told that this team will raise two banners before the game, commemorating the 2024 double of the NWSL Shield and Championship. So if you are able to make it, I think this will be a very nice occasion and a night to remember. And if this is like any of the other Pride games, I'm sure it'll be a game that you won't want to miss.
Yeah, a
Vince,
little bit
thought on that?
ago. A little bit ago, they the the men's team posted that the girls they made it funny, like, asking, can we get some space, like, can we put some banners up right there next to you guys. They just posted it not that long ago, so it's pretty cool that they're gonna have that. Well deserved for the girls.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
what a way to start the season off by hanging some banners up.
No, absolutely. On their own right, I believe it's I don't know if they call it supporter shield, but
Yes.
finishing first in the league, and then championship, putting a star over the crest. Not too crazy about the crest in the center of the jersey. I'm not a big fan. I hate it. I'm just gonna be flat out. But it is what it is. And I hope that Orlando City never does this, because they are not gonna get. They're probably not gonna get my money. But let's go support. If you're a season ticket holder, you got a free ticket for the opener. You're
Mhm.
gonna get as many tickets as you have with Orlando City, and so let's go and support them. Hold on a second.
Absolutely. So I've been trying to avoid talking about this as long as I could, but it is inevitable that we need to talk about this past Saturday at Yankee Stadium at 7:30 p.m. in the Bronx. Thank you, David. Um, for those of you who know me, you knew I grew up in New York. But that was before the MLS days for Orlando and this team that we played. So my team is Orlando. Needless to say, I have family in New York, and I'm sure I have not heard from them yet, but I'm sure I will be. But regardless of that, um, we went this past this past Saturday to the Bronx to play on a baseball field, which is ironic because I was talking about this with John yesterday when we were at the OCB game. So OCB plays at Osceola Heritage Park. For those of you who have never been there, it used to be the Atlanta Braves farm team. They used to have a team called the Fire Frogs, and the Fire Frogs was the farm team for the Atlanta Braves. So guess where OCB plays? OCB plays on what used to be a baseball field. However, OCB, like any proper soccer team, knows that you need a full size soccer field to play proper football. Um, I was having a conversation with that. It was just ironic that we were there watching, OCB play on what used to be a baseball field, and our boys were in New York playing on a mini sized pitch on a baseball field as well. I feel like, David, you've brought this up, right? I think you said their home record is the best record because of the size of that pitch. And it's not an excuse by any means. This is not an excuse, but it's a standard, right? There's a standard when you. Is there any other team in the league that has a field of that size? Do we know?
No, yeah,
Only the Portland Timbers is shorter in length, I believe,
right.
not width.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing, and I guess you can start mentioning this. If you guys go to our YouTube channel years ago, I want to say 3 to 4 years ago, probably more, I did two videos, one in Spanish, one in English, explaining this. The biggest pitch in MLS is Vancouver's, and our pitch, which is 120 yards long, 75 yards wide, is among a pack of basically the standard in MLS, right? And the smallest pitch, because it's a original baseball field, is Portland Timbers. Okay, the Yankee Stadium is smaller than that, and I believe, don't quote me, I believe Yankee Stadium is 70 yards wide by 110 long. Okay, so compared to our pitch, is 5 yards narrower and 10 yards shorter. That's a world of a difference. That's a world
Yeah.
of a difference. And what happens with this pitch in particular is that the section that is on what is supposed to be the infield, which is clay, it's just sawed pieces, and players tend to slide in them. We saw them. You don't take my word for it. You can watch the game, and you can see that people are sliding on them. Sometimes the sod comes off and expose the clay underneath. People get hurt, have gone hurt. This is the pitch with the most injuries in the league. Okay, because again, it's not meant for football or soccer. It's meant for baseball, and a ball in baseball doesn't have to bounce. It's a solid ball. For our friends that are not Americans, it's a solid ball. So it doesn't mean anything that the pitch is meant for people to be able to jump and land on it. It's a really hard surface. And with that, New York City has the best home record of the league in the league's history. And you are like, well, David, if they win all the games practically at home, why is it that they don't win the championship every year? It's because they have to go play in other places, and that's where they drop the points. They're one of the worst teams away. As a
Mhm.
visitor, they're one of the worst teams away. So it balances out. But the fact of the matter is that very, very, very good teams in this league go there and they look like idiots. Why? Because since it's so short, basically, if you look at the game, it's so compacted. It's like basically you're watching a U9 game.
You know what it
Okay.
reminded me of, actually, David? It
Hmm.
didn't even remind me of that. It reminded me of the Seawolves games. When you're
Yes.
watching the Seawolves, the
Yeah.
arena
Indoor
soccer.
soccer. Yeah. No, for sure. And I'll finish it with this, guys. So and it's a pitch that punishes you if the team goes in transition and goes into counter attack, because now everybody has to run to defend. While I felt that Pedro could have done better on the stops, the reality is that some of our guys like Marco, I'm gonna single him out, and this is not a dig at any of them. They are basically saying, "What the f is going on?" You know what I'm saying? Like, this is tiny, this is compacted. One side of the pitch, it looks like it keeps going, 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 right? Because there's no stand to let you know this is the end of the pitch, and New York was ready for us, and that's the reason why we have not won a game there since April 23rd, 2017, when the legendary Kyle Larin with a brace defeated New York City 2-1. New York City used to be the team that we defeated consistently. They were our son, right? Like people like to say. But the reality, my friends, is a very simple one: is that we lost, and you gotta play anywhere and win anywhere. And I finished with this. It's actually not related to the game, guys. Because just so you guys know, we're having a situation where it looks like we're probably not live on X. If you click on X, it says here that we are live, and I think underneath you can click on underneath it says watch on X. I don't have it because I personally don't have X, but if you one of you guys can check it out to see if we are live, then great. If not, I'm pretty sure people will watch us later on YouTube or listen to us. A shame because I think but it's technology. Technology will do this to you.
Yep.
All right, sorry about that, guys. I just wanted to mention that, but that's my analysis of the game. At least Muriel score. That's all I gotta say.
You know, you know what's funny? My son, um, I was out, like I had mentioned, so I couldn't watch the game. And I said to him, I'm like, listen, I don't want you to ruin the game for me. Don't be texting me. Don't be texting me the play by play. And guess what? He's like, I'm sorry. I had to. Muriel scored. I was like, what? I'm like,
That's
you're not going to
worth
believe
it.
this. Muriel scored. I'm like,
That's
okay.
worth a spoiler.
Yeah, that was worth it. That was absolutely worth it. Um, I was disappointed though, because everything we said about the pitch aside, it took us 69 minutes or so to score our first goal. And we didn't even have that many shots on goal up until that point. That
Then
itself
we have four.
total, but up until then we didn't have that.
No, no, for sure.
You know what I mean? So it took us that long. And you know what? I know we talked a little bit about the pitch, but that's an excuse, right? If the guys can't be using that as an excuse, and I think even Oscar, I don't remember where it was. It might have been on the broadcast that they said Oscar during training had reduced the pitch size so they would replicate it and tried everything. We need to do better, as a team against NYCFC, right? Just in general. I mean, because even when we played them at home, our record with them at home recently is not that much better, right? So I feel like we need to step up a little bit more. I don't know if the issues that we saw were because of the size of the pitch, but I felt like we didn't have that. We couldn't deal with the counter. They got us on the counter
Yeah.
every single time. And but for me, then the argument about it being a smaller pitch should work in our favor. It shouldn't work against us.
I mean, they went down to 10 men,
And
but
still, yes,
and unfortunately, it worked on in their favor because let's be honest, a pitch like that, maybe you can play with 9 players and you can have some dynamic football. 11 players is a tall order because the players are practically trying not to
step
get
on
on
each other.
each
Yeah.
other. This is the reason, and I say it again, that we see some horrendous injuries in this pitch all the time. We can all remember what happened to our good friend Mason Starhart last year with a
Yeah.
horrific injury that most likely cost him his career in Orlando. And some people were saying the reason why Orlando got rid of him is because they just don't feel that he's gonna be the player that he was before that. And as somebody that has been working in orthopedics for the last 6 years, I can tell you that unfortunately bones do heal, but they don't go back to the way they used to be. And so that's one of the things, unfortunately. And the fact of the matter is that, not to make it an excuse on the Oscar, we had never gone points over there. I don't know how he was with Dallas going to New York City. He was in the West Coast, so there was years that they didn't have to go play there. So I don't know what's the history, but I'm not gonna make too much out of it.
Nope.
Uh, it's we lost. That's what's gonna happen in a season. You win games that you're not supposed to win. You're gonna lose games that you're not supposed to. That you're gonna lose some games that you're supposed to win, and you're gonna lose, and you're gonna win some games you were supposed to lose. Sorry, I just mental fuck. So basically that's what it is. At this point, I'm not screaming. I'm not saying, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel that our season is going to be winning Open Cup, where we're the favorites, and just sneaking into the playoffs, and just whatever God has in store for us. So that's basically it. To me, for the year, and then at the end of the year, then the club needs to evaluate what they need to do. In fact, I forgot to send you guys this, but if you follow us on social media, uh, they're they interviewed the GMs of Major League Soccer clubs about who was the team with the best recruiting, and they gave a list of the teams. And while I look for this, by the way, guys, I saw that the X dropped as one of the venues that were one of the platforms that we're using to broadcast. Was that any of you guys,
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I was trying to see if I can resolve it, but it just dropped it completely.
it just dropped it completely? Okay,
Yep.
but it wasn't broadcasting, so it doesn't
Correct.
matter.
Correct.
Okay. Well, hopefully, those people will have the wisdom to watch us somewhere else. If not, they know where to get us after the fact. So right now, with 6 votes, LAFC. The question was, what team has the best scouting department in MLS? LAFC got 6 points. New York City FC got 4. Columbus Crew got 3. Orlando City got 1.5. Chicago Fire got 1. FC Cincinnati got 1. Minnesota got 1. And New York Rebels got 1. The athletic survey amongst MLS general managers. So, that tells you that, out of 30 teams, we got ourselves in there. Obviously, LAFC, New York City, get the lion's share. Obviously, they have several supporter shields and MLS Cups and Campeones Cups and things to divide among themselves. Open Cup and all that. And same with the Columbus Crew. But for a team that has limited success, I think that says a lot. I think we have some misfires. Not gonna lie, the situation with Muriel is one that, to be honest with you, I'm hugely disappointed, because hopefully he has his moment of redemption this season. But if he doesn't, imagine paying $4 million a year for a guy that comes in for 20 minutes and doesn't do anything. Also, another thing that we're not talking about is the fact that we have injuries. Nobody was counting on two critical players like Sukada and God, why am I always the Colombian kid?
Brecalo's out for a shoulder,
Yeah,
and even our new guy Nico Rodriguez is out with a thigh injury.
right,
Oh, is that why he
exactly.
wasn't playing? I wasn't sure. Okay, I didn't
Yeah,
see that.
Duncan Maguire,
Nico
and
Maguire gone. Yeah,
I, this is what happens when you get old. You forget, but the midfielder that had the Achilles.
The wildebeest.
Who?
Wilder.
Wilder
Wilder.
Wilder.
Cartagena. Wow, this. I'm sorry. So yeah, so we were not counting on those injuries. And it's a pleasant surprise to see, that we have Caraballo, and then we have Freeman, who, Freeman, by the way, is incredible save. That should have been a third goal for New York City.
Yes, absolutely.
Um,
That was nuts.
yeah, the man is an athletic freak, and, glad that he's in purple. And, to finish, because I'm yapping here like a madman before we go to the two comments that we have. The reality is that it was a bad day at the office. Simple as that. We get, the beauty of football is you get to do it all over again next week. We lost our first game to a team that is red hot. Then we beat a team that we were supposed to beat at home, and we lost in a place that unfortunately we haven't had any success as of late. on a pitch that I gotta say, and you guys can say, oh, that's being a sore loser. The fact of the matter is that they, kudos to New City. They have made it a fortress. They have made it a fortress. Misael is the only one out of the show that has been to that abomination, and it's just not a good, it's not a great place for football. Like I said, I invite you guys to look for that video that I created on the channel, and think for yourselves. The reality is that Manchester City money was too tempting to Donny G, and he let it happen for 11 seasons. That's something to be embarrassed about.
Misael?
I mean, he pretty much said it all. We do have a lot of injuries. Um, the comment here, which was from my brother.
I'll show it.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I think I took it off.
That's all right.
Yeah, that he thinks that Muriel started because you have to be compact on that pitch. And to be very technical, I agree. I wasn't too thrilled when I saw Muriel starting. Um, but you do have to try different things. I think a lot of us going into the game knew we were going to lose it. I mean, at least I did. I try not to be such a homer and we're going to win every single game. Yes, do I want to win every single game? Of course, but they're not bad defensively, and especially in their house. Um, and they cooked us.
Yeah,
Maria, yeah, go ahead.
I was hoping for a draw. I wasn't hoping for a win, but I would have been happy with a draw, honestly. And we could have pulled that off because the goals that we gave up, those were
Yeah.
dumb goals to give up. They
Oh,
weren't like,
that,
they didn't kick our ass. It wasn't like, oh my God, those were amazing shots. Those were some, like to David's point, Alex Freeman saved our ass in that last one. That would have been a third
yeah,
goal.
yeah.
They were not like fantastic plays that they made. Especially that one that
No,
that Pedro let go and then the guy just tapped it in. None of those were amazing plays on NYCFC's part. They just capitalized on mistakes that we made. And
of course,
I
and
always
I
say,
mean, and I see some people online saying it, and I kind of agreed. I know we're only 3 games in, but the Pulpo is not. He's just not looking. I mean,
you
it's
know what?
3 games. It is 3 games, but he's just. I don't know, man. I think it's time to start looking around.
I just think I don't think it's time to start looking around, and I think everybody has their moments, right? Maybe
Yeah,
this is the time to get it out of your system. You know what I mean? Because you look at that, and then you look at the saves that he's made this season so far,
yeah,
as few as there have been, and they're like amazing saves. So it's tough because like we've seen people talking about like about Angulo and Schlegel with the mistakes they made in the past games. And it happens. People have bad games, and it's just bad timing. And that's why we always say it's cruel and unpredictable, right? It's just one stupid mistake like that can cost you the game.
yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
what
and
it
I
does.
mean, and he's well, he plays on the national team for his country, and we are going to see flashes of him. I think I'm kind of looking at it the opposite way of
Yeah,
you. I
yeah,
think we are going to see flashes of him looking very good, but Father Time is
yeah.
undefeated,
Agreed,
and
agreed. But
I think that the clock is starting to tick.
yeah,
I'm not panicking on him. I'm not saying that. And by me saying start looking around, I'm not saying just pick up somebody right now and can them. I'm not saying that. But the scouting out there, I just hope that I think it's time to start looking around.
I agree. It's never too early to start doing that. It's never too early. The
Yeah,
thing
I
about
think
it,
I know. Sorry, I know Papi's a defensive coach, man, but I think we need to find a way to get Pasalic more involved offensively. I
absolutely.
don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but that game the other day, I don't recall him, getting that many touches. And yeah, I think the guy has he's an offensive, caliber player where he needs to have the ball. And I know,
Mhm.
obviously we're working through Ojeda in the midfield and stuff like that, but I don't know. We need to work on that right side. I
Agreed.
know we have to
And
love Angulo and stuff like that, but
and
we got to
speaking
get
of
this.
of Pedro, just to go back to your point, I heard
Yeah,
he was called up to the Peruvian national team, and we're gonna miss him. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, on the March 20th game. Is it March 20th or when is it?
no, the 20. I think it's 22nd. Is it?
March 22nd, whatever that game is, when we're at
It's
home
against.
against the Red Bulls. I think is it against the Red Bulls or
No,
against
I think it's no. We got Red Bulls this weekend. It's That should be
DC, I
against
believe it's DC.
DC.
at
Yeah,
home against DC? We're gonna be
yeah.
missing him. So guess what? We're gonna find out how the rest of our lineup is.
It should be Otero. I think
Yeah,
is backing him up. I
yeah.
like Otero, man. I don't mind
No, no,
Otero.
no. Absolutely.
I'm not saying to replace Pulpo with Otero. I'm just saying
I
he's not
I
bad.
agree. I think we have a lot of talent on the team, and I don't think the talent gets all the exposure. The talent gets the exposure when we have these international breaks. Like the past few years, a lot of the talent has gotten the exposure against Philadelphia historically because we played them away, and it was usually during the international breaks, and that's when some of the B team players got their exposure too. So I'm looking forward to this. So we'll see. We'll see. Where else it goes for us. We have a couple more comments, I think. Let me bring them up so we can kind of talk about them. Tour Up One says, I'd love to buy one of the OCB jerseys. You know what? I heard at least three
I
or four
agree.
people saying that.
Same
I
here.
wouldn't hold your breath, my friend.
I've been saying
'Cause
it for years.
yeah. Because I think a lot of people are in that same boat as you.
And still in my words, I actually they on LinkedIn. Which, by the way, listen, I don't crap where I eat because I know a lot of people are starting to treat LinkedIn as if it was Facebook, and I'm gonna take my hat off as an Orlando City fan. I just remind everybody, you're there to try to get a job and network for your career. So talking about politics, talking about religion, talking about current events. No, it's not gonna get you anywhere. So, but I follow the team, and aside from liking and reposting, I don't interact with anybody from the front office or anything like that. I'm always I'm a homer on LinkedIn. But they were hiring in the marketing department, and the head of marketing like said something very nice about the person that I guess they decided to bring on board, and I just lost it. I said, please consider giving the fans what they want. We're tired of giving you ideas on how to take our money and you ignoring us. That's the reason why the 5K marathon is coming back, because we're a club that is starting to develop traditions and events, and people were very upset that that did not happen. And by the way, I don't know if it was something happened that delayed it and they were going to do it anyways, but the displeasure of the people was such that they're bringing it. They're bringing it. I will find out here the dates to let you guys know.
I'll let you know.
I apologize for not being ready for it for
I'm
that.
actually going to be doing it.
It should be
Oh,
in
are
May.
you? Oh, God
I
bless you.
think.
I
Yeah, me
maybe
too.
one day.
I do it. I do it every year.
You do
I
it?
was,
Oh wow.
yes,
Okay,
yeah,
good for you
I
guys.
do it every year. I was one of the ones that was
It's May
disappointed.
17th. May 17th.
Beautiful. So God bless you guys. I just don't have the energy for that. I have the last time I ran, I was a member of the United States Navy, and they were paying me. So the idea for me to pay to run for fun, it's not in my DNA. But
Oh,
I digress.
well, I said I do it every year. I didn't say that I finish it in 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. Hey, listen. Yeah, at least you're doing more than me, my brother. You're doing more than me. But I said that, and hopefully, I didn't sound like a petulant person. But the fact is that OCB kids, the first year that OCB was around in 2016, they had scarves. In fact, I have one. I have one of those OCB scarves, and the people want merch. Just like they kicked and screamed until they gave us the Seacow kid and the Seacow merch. People want OCB because the kids are iconic. They're different. They're from the first team and they're super cool. And they're the ones in our USL era uh, for OCB, not the first team. Those are collector's items. If you have USL 2016, 17, uh 20, 21, those, I mean, they go for a top dollar. And it seems like the club, what will it cost the club to do that? And you know what, better yet, where is the Orlando City Foundation? Grab those kits at the end of the season that are going to be probably given back to the players or thrown away, I don't know what, and do an auction for charity. Do an auction and allow the fans to get the kits. Guys at the front office, it's me, David Valentin. I know that you know my name. You guys know you know my name, for good or bad. The fact is that I'm talking to you as David Valentin, the professional, the person that has been in the workforce since 1995. Listen, when your customer is asking you, begging you for a product, give it to them. And to steal the words from our good friend Jared Dillon, they understand that this is discretionary spending. They know they're not saving lives. They know that if you have to choose between eating and your Orlando City ticket, you're gonna choose eating, paying the bills, et cetera, et cetera. So when people are saying, "Hey, I have a few dollars. I would love to buy this kit." Why is it that the club is ignoring that request? I am guys, in this show, and not only this show, in every podcast that is fan produced, the conversation is always the same. This is what the fans want. This is what us personally we want. Give it to us. And the club fails to do that. People want to support OCV. And you know how people support OCV? By buying the freaking kit, by buying scarves, okay? By having posters for the players to sign. I tell you what, OCV, and I finish with this because I'm going on a tangent, but OCV is the reserves. Okay, you are not going there to see the stars. And both sides of the pitch, that young kids developing the future of American football, if you will. So who goes to these games? Who goes on away days for the reserves? People that are deeply invested in the clubs they follow. Simple as that. So let's reward these people. Let's reward who buys away kits? The real fans. Okay? That's the reality of American football. You guys got some people that are willing to take time to go support the product, to go spend money at a time that for a lot of people is very difficult. And I just don't understand why the club all of a sudden they become altruistic. They're like, no, 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 guys, you have too many kids. And it's true. I have in my closet right now, I have 27 kids between the three teams that I follow. And I have 40 scarves. I live in Florida. Before I became a football fan, I had one scarf for all events. I got 40 something. Listen, look at this. 40 something scarves. And I live in freaking Florida. It's March 10th. And the temperature today was already like 87 degrees. Winter is over for us. I have freaking scarves. Come on, guys. Please, somebody at the front office understand that the people want what they want, and we want to give you the money. We want to write you the checks. We want to go and spend the money. Listen to us. I believe I have missed my calling. Should have been a marketing person. It's ridiculous. I'm sorry, guys. But it's frustrating at times to see how people are just basically begging the club for these things, and it doesn't happen unless you are related to one of the players or you're dating one of the players. You are not getting your hands on one of these kids. It's a shame.
Yeah, I like them. I think some of them have been better than the first team's kids. Some of them are really, really nice. David, I don't know about you, but I haven't written a check in years. I'm just joking.
Yeah, giving up my age, brother. I have it myself.
I'm
Uh,
just joking. But yeah, I mean, I would like to buy one. I've been saying it for a couple of years now. I see some people that's like you said, somehow they get their hands on them. I guess their family members or whatever, and I see them walking into the stadium, and I'm like, man, like I would like one of those. I even like the kids kit. I see some of these kids walking into the stadium. Maybe a man, maybe your son has one, but
yes,
I'm like, I'm jealous. I'm like, man, I want one of those.
absolutely, bro.
Yeah,
Oh, you mean the
Absolutely.
academy? I mean, don't get me
yeah, they
started
got
with
some nice
that, bro.
ones. They got some nice kids.
Well,
Listen,
not even the academy, because the academy now is using the same kits as the first team, right? So
Oh,
it's not
okay.
the academy kit; it's the other teams, like the Orlando City soccer schools. They have a totally different kit. It's like
Well,
the one
maybe
with
it's
all the
them. I
stripes
don't
and
know
stuff.
who it is,
It's
but
really cool.
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
real nice, man.
yeah, yeah.
no, and I gotta tell you one thing, guys. And I have told this story before. I want to say it was 2020 or 2019 when the club had this idea of putting for sale all the training uniforms, boots, all basically stuff that was gonna be thrown away.
I have
And
some.
it was just like a big bucket, and you would just go and dig stuff out. And they're like, okay, well, $30 for that. Is that okay with you? People are like, yeah, sure. People are like getting like insane stuff just because their favorite player wore it, or and stuff like that. Listen, that stuff was gonna end up in the garbage. And fans, I was there like a dummy. Excuse me, first day on the morning. I think it was like a Sunday, and I bought. I spent probably $200 on what they were gonna throw in the garbage, and they don't want to do that. I wanna tell the club, like, listen, the fans have a love and affection and in appreciation for the club that they want to show, and you are not allowing them. And you don't have to, you're not doing charity for us because you're getting our money. You're getting money, okay? Listen, I am not your usual fan. I don't go and spend money on 20 pizzas like I see people do. I don't go to the stadium and drink 10 beers. I don't do that. This past game that I went there, I spent $0 at the stadium. $0. Okay, I just sat on my seat, boom, and I got out of there. I bought no merch. The game before that, I had a Gatorade, and I bought the poster for the game. That's about it. So with me, you know, you're screwed. But if you give me the value of the things that I like stuff to get signed. I like stuff that is game worn. Then you're gonna get more of my money. So simple, guys, simple. I think I don't know if you guys remember in the when we were still at the Camping World, they used to have the tent
Hmm.
in the off season. You will go there
Hmm.
and you basically all the stuff that they didn't sell that year, boom, 50% discount, 75% discount,
I
and
went
you
there
go
two
there.
years
Oh,
in a
forget
row.
it.
I went there 2 years in a row, and I cleaned house.
Thank you, my friend.
I
I
still have
went there.
stuff. I still have stuff from that. Yeah.
In fact, that OCB scarf that I was telling you guys, that's where that scarf came from. We went and there was OCB stuff. If I wouldn't, two things that I regret as an Orlando City fan in the history that I've been following the club. Number one, not buying more USL stuff in 2014. Not buying more USL stuff because now all that crap is collector's items. I haven't seen in 5 years USL stuff out there. Personally, I bought 2013 and 14 the ticket stop uh, sheet. I have those. The 2014 is signed. The 2013 isn't. I also have a replica jersey, and I have a couple other things. I have the Dom Dwyer jersey, of course, but I would have wished that I had the foresight of buying the USL stuff. And the other thing is that that I wish that I would have gone to more of these events where they have all this other stuff. to purchase that, because as years go by, most of this stuff is gonna become a collector's item, and you never know.
All right. Are we with Misael? We have a couple of
Uh,
comments here. I don't think we
yeah,
showed
let's go ahead
everything.
and go through.
So
Oh, there it is.
let me see. All right. We have a couple of comments. Let's catch up on some of that stuff here. Misael, can you do the honors, man?
Yeah, Surf Nash said, "Good evening. Every team visiting zoo must have one plus in goals. Such a shame. 10 years at baseball field. Joke." Agree, Serge. We'll be next Saturday at Red Bulls. Oh, I think when we were trying to figure out the Red Bulls DC thing is what
Yep.
that was, I
Yes,
believe.
yeah.
Thank you,
Mhm.
Serge. Volusia County now advertisement of OC at all. Did I read that right?
Yeah.
No, now advertisement of OC at
Oh,
all.
maybe he meant to say no
But now,
advertisement. Yeah,
yeah,
he meant
okay,
to say
yeah,
no advertisement. Yeah.
advertisement. Yeah, at all. A lot of people have no clue about OC and soccer team in Orlando.
Yeah, and I wanna revisit this comment, Misael, so because it's important that we touch that for a second.
Okay. Dom Dwyer. He also says Dom Dwyer about to bring Mansfield to EPL.
Good one.
That would be awesome. Victor says when Pedro plays for Peru, he usually comes back motivated. That's true. I think Pedro will be okay. Backline is suffering a bit. The future can be with Otero.
Mm-hmm.
He also says here, I thought we were all satisfied with Cholo dogs.
There you go, buddy.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah, that's it. If you want to bring back Serge's comment there,
The advertising one?
Yeah, and
yeah.
I have to say this. I travel all over Florida, as you guys known over the years, due to the nature of my job, and I have to tell you that outside of Metro Orlando, which is basically Osceola, Orange, and Seminole, you really don't see any advertising. It's a shame. I think that we could capitalize going as far as Jacksonville, Gainesville, uh, Tampa. Why not? I know that's Rowdy's territory, but you could go Polk County, um, Indian River County, Sumter Lake. All these areas are just completely neglected, and I just don't see for a club that makes millions of dollars. Where's the harm in just buying a billboard on the turnpike, right? 75, or when you land in the freaking airport. This is okay, guys. This is where I'm gonna send fire downrange.
Oh boy.
Why is it that
Oh,
when you land in Orlando, woo, why don't we have advertising at the airport where it says, "Welcome to Orlando, home or Orlando City Soccer or Orlando Pride," and you have Martha, or you have, uh, uh, you know, uh, Robin Jansen, uh, Kingston. You don't have any of that. I'm gonna tell you one thing that was shocking to me. Jared Dillon found out that we had a Orlando City theme bar at the airport because I mentioned it in one of the season ticket member powwows that he had when he came in. He This is the guy that runs the show, and nobody bothered to say, "Hey, by the way, yeah, we have at the airport we have this thing." Which, by the way, I never visit because when I get there, I'm not gonna hang out. I want to go through TSA and get to my flight. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm,
saying? So I'm not gonna hang out over there having the beer, beers or whatever, and then the line is to kilometric, and I miss my flight. It makes no sense. Uh, Guys, why is it that we're not advertising at the stadium? I mean, I'm sorry, at the airport. We're not advertising around Disney. We, in the USL era, we used to have a service that was loosely affiliated with the club, where they will go to iDrive and they will sell people a ticket to the game, and an opportunity to go into a bus that will take you from my drive to the stadium. And that's how a lot of our friends from the UK became Orlando City fans till this day. A lot of them were introduced like that. But when we went into MLS, the club cut those ties because, well, that we're not making any money. Short-sightedness, business myopia. This is, I have a bachelor's in technology management. That's a business degree, and my marketing professor right now, listening to this story, he probably would have thrown himself out of a window because we continue to have situations like this where the club fails to, right now, our fan base is a niche fan base. If you have been an Orlando City fan since the USL era, or at least 2015, 2016, at this point, you know people, right? You interact with them on social media, you see them at the games, you see them at events, right? I mean, you interact with them on shows like this one, and the reality is that we're a little tribe at this point. We need to expand. This town has the possibility of going crazy for this team, but our club does everything in their power to remain inconsequential in Orlando. I don't get it. Phil Rollins, he had it. He had the touch. He had the Midas touch, because he turned a bunch of people that knew nothing about football, that had never been to a live football game, that had never followed a team, into some of the most rabid individuals following the sport. I just wish that, again. I just wish that we had the foresight to go all out and make this town fall in love again with Orlando City. Because I remember when in 2015, those 62,000 people that filled that stadium, they came from somewhere. We didn't kidnap them. We didn't force them to go. Why is it that now we can't get 25 and a half to go to the games? Can anybody explain me that?
Well, I think part of that has to do with back then is the hunger of trying to build it and seeing the future to try to get to the MLS. Obviously, they did the groundwork. They were on foot and trying to get people there, and now you're already in the league. So now I guess, I mean, I'm not making up excuses. I'm
Yeah, you are.
assuming.
You're making excuses.
I'm assuming. I'm assuming. I mean, I don't know if any professional team is gonna go and do some groundwork like that. I mean, you're not gonna see the Orlando Magic people doing that. You're not gonna see Tampa Bay Rays people doing that. They're in the league already. Um, what's gonna help big time is winning. The season ticket holders are there. You got to get the casual fan in. A lot of people like to talk about the casual fan badly, but you need the casual fan to fill up the place. You're not going to have 25-5 season ticket holders. So you need the casual fan there. Yes, it does take more marketing and stuff to get them there. Yes. Um, and they need to do better than that. I work in Apopka, which is not crazy far from the stadium, but I was pretty shocked a couple months ago where I seen a billboard that's advertising the team on my way to work one morning. And now, from now on, I keep seeing it. They keep announcing every game and every game. They even had the Angulo 100 appearances on there, and I was like, like what? Like in a pocket? Like what's going on here? But I don't know. I guess it's just one of those things where maybe they just don't want to invest money in that. All the money's going to Muriel, man.
Pretty much. But guys, this coming up Saturday, March 15th, 2:30 p.m. All roads lead to Red Bull Arena as the boys return to the New York metropolitan area, to the Mid Atlantic, to face Red Bulls. Last time we measured forces with these guys, pretty much it was a disappointing 1-0 result at home, in which Red Bulls lifted for the second time in their history the Eastern Conference Championship trophy. So we
The
have to
rematch.
we have to look at it this way. First of all, disappointed for the time of the day. I'm not, unfortunately, I'm gonna miss it. This Saturday. And by the way, to our Jewish audience, Chag Sameach, happy Purim. And hopefully, eat a lot of ham and tashin. And
Any idea why the games are starting early?
they had this idea this year of having early games to try to attract the mostly European crowd
Oh, got it, got it,
and
got it.
having games at a decent time. Basically, in Europe, these games are gonna be for free, so people can watch them and get hooked on it. I'm gonna
Got
be honest with you. It's not the greatest thing because right now the EFL, which is the English Football League, that oversees Championship, League One, and League Two, which is the second, third, and fourth tier of uh, professional football in England, has a hard time getting people to sign up for the EFL iFollow service. And what that does is that you can buy for 10 quid, £10, you can buy access to watch the game, which a lot of people do. They watch the game away through it, or like I said, it's 180 quid for the season, $230 when the conversion. And a lot of people feel that that's too expensive because you only get to watch one team. So when you look at what Apple Plus gives you for $100, which is £100 in England as well, it's a deal. But EFL is like $230. You only get to watch your team and your team only, and it's basically TV cameras with the radio call as the audio.
That's that's that's
Um,
that's crazy talk. That's a lot of money for to
if you
get to
want,
watch
if
one
you
team.
want to watch, if you want to watch your favorite EFL team, that's what it is. So, so I find it hard to believe that people in the UK. I have friends at Stevenage that told me that they used to watch the MLS games, and they don't because they're not gonna pay, £100 to watch a league that the earliest games are at 12:30 in the morning. Just not gonna happen, guys. The our friends, Jake and Taylor, Dan, Tom, all those misfits that watch that follow Orlando City and they stay up on godly hours. Those are extreme outliers. You know what I'm saying? Those are extreme outliers. I know a lot of people that are like, listen, I just don't have the money for the Apple Plus. So I just basically I'm content with watching the highlights that are for free on YouTube and going to the one game a year that I get to go when I go to Orlando on vacation. So unfortunately, that's what it is. I feel that the Apple Plus deal is not paying off. There's been talks that the advertisers are basically saying, how do we gauge if people are watching this product? What data can you give us to let us know how effective our advertising is on a league that there's no Nielsen ratings, there's no ability. The league continues to give free membership to MLS Plus to season ticket holders, and so that's you're basically inflating artificially the numbers with people that are actually not paying for the service. So I don't know, and also another problem that you have with the situation at the fact that because now you no longer have the local stations broadcasting the games. Now they don't care. They don't care to invite people from the club to talk in the morning news or afternoon news. They basically dedicate 10 seconds of their broadcast to cover. Basically they limit themselves to just saying, "Hey, Orlando City played this is the final score, and they move on. And the reality is that you need the casuals. The guy that comes once in a while, their money's just as good as the guy that goes there all the time.
Hmm.
So unfortunately, we don't have. You know, I'm from the era of MLS where you had to live in the city where the team played in order to watch them, and they played usually in American football stadiums that basically where 5-10,000 people look like a minuscule crowd. And to go back and put that product behind a paywall, I just don't see the benefit. And I just don't see the benefit. Unfortunately, I thought that what put MLS on collision course to the height in the 20s, in the decade that we're in right now, is the fact that we had Univision's Viernes de Fútbol, Football Fridays. Univision does football like it's supposed to be. I was so hyped up, man, to watch it. And then you had Fox Sports and ESPN, and we have retrieval that to pigeonhole that, and then the league plays all the teams at the same time. So if you are an Orlando City fan and they're playing at home, you're gonna be at the stadium, and when you come home, there's nothing on TV. All the games basically have been played, and if your team is away and you're watching your team, it's either you watch your team or you watch another team because you can't do all that. In the 360 show they have, I'm sorry, I want to see Orlando City. I don't care about going from game to game to game. It makes no sense to me. I mean, the God, you guys caught me at a day where I just wanted to cry on the microphone. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't think. I think there's a lot that can change, and unfortunately, we're there. We're not there, I should say. So again, I think if the league did themselves a favor and they talk to the fans, they pick like one fan out of each club or a couple or whatever, and they had a Zoom meeting or something to like a focus group, like what is it that you want, what is it that you like, what works, what doesn't. Perhaps we would have success. But at the end of the day, football fans are going to pay for whatever. I want to watch Stevenage, I want to support Stevenage. Listen, I paid the equivalent of like $62 for my jersey every year. I buy one, I buy cards, I buy a bunch of crap. I pay $20-$30 to watch them, to watch the games. And the games are difficult to watch because it's like 10 in the morning on Saturdays, 2:30 in the afternoon on Tuesdays.
Ten in
And
the 10 in the morning's pretty good. I remember a couple of years ago for Premier League, I would get up at 5 or 6
well,
in the
Premier
morning to
League
watch
plays
them.
earlier and the EFL
I would
plays
get up
later
at
in
five
the
or
day.
six in the morning to watch some Premier League games. I'm glad that they changed their times a bit, but I used to
Well,
get up real early.
yeah, EPL still plays at noon. So basically 7:30 ish our time. So the traditional times for football in the UK is 3 p.m. Saturday. So the EFL tends to do that. They have games at 12:30, just to basically do the same thing that MLS is trying to do, trying to catch the fans in Australia, New Zealand to catch the product. But yeah, guys, like I said, football fans will definitely do what it takes to support the club they love.
Hmm.
And but the reality at the end of the day is that it's up to the club, it is up to the league to make the product accessible. And I just feel that MLS and Orlando City unfortunately haven't done that in a good way. And again, you know, I all I can do is buy my ticket, support my club, and wish for the best. But the
I'll,
reality is that.
I'll be honest. Besides not being able to hear our guys, ever since we've been on Apple TV, I like the fact that I can go back and watch it whenever I want because I might not be home on game day, game time. Even or if I make it just a little bit late, let's say like I'm a half an hour, I can have the option to hit start over and just watch it from the beginning instead of having to jump right in. And it's just the world that we're living in right now. You know, the streaming and stuff like that. So I like having that option to where, um, like I said, I can start the game whenever I want. If I don't get to even watch it today, I can watch it tomorrow morning or tonight or whatever the case is. I kind of do like that. I do like that the rest of the games are on there as well, so I don't have to just watch my team. I personally watch a lot of MLS because that's
Same
where
here.
my favorite team is. I like Real Madrid and stuff like that, but I watch MLS because that's where my local team is, and I like to watch other games of MLS because I like to watch the competition and see what they're looking like. And even if I don't watch their whole games, I might go back to the recap option that they have. So I think there's some benefits there. Um, I do not like the fact that they do play all at the same time. That's why I kind of do like that this Saturday we do have a couple early games. We're at 2:30, and I think somebody else is maybe like at 3:30, something like that. I saw,
And then we have 7:30, right?
and then 7:30. Yeah.
Correct.
So I kind of do like that. But yeah, we don't get our local guys that we get to listen to, so it's got its ups and downs. Also, T-Mobile. If you have T-Mobile, you can get the MLS pass for free as well.
Correct. Correct. And if you, I believe, you buy an Apple product, you get a new phone, you get to Apple Plus also. One of the things that I was gonna mention that you touched that I like about my overseas teams is that the call is by crews that work for the team. So
Yeah.
when they are talking, it's like they're hyping up the team that I follow, and they crap out on the opponent. So Maccabi Haifa has their guys, Stevenage has their guys, and if you wanna, I got the opportunity to interview Steve and Dean. They're on our channel. If you are curious, because if you like football, you like the intricacies of the culture and what it takes to be a broadcaster. You guys can watch that episode,
Mhm.
or listen to it because it's also available on audio. But here we have eliminated that. If you want to get like the local perspective, you have to go on radio in Spanish or English. But like for example, our good friend Sergio Ruiz, uh, he when he does our games, he has to be quote unquote neutral. Obviously, I know Sergio for a long time. I talk to him all the time, and he's an Orlando City guy, and he loves our club. But the reality is that now he works for MLS Plus, Apple Plus, and he has to do what he has to do. So I think that that's one of the things that I feel that we missed out by doing this conversion, where a lot of the local crews were gone, and that's not just us. That pretty much every MLS team, unfortunately,
Yeah.
lost their local flavor.
Yep. Agreed. Completely agree. Um.
Oh, you want to touch on some comments there?
Yeah. Yep.
Johnny Ridden there. Hey boys, what's going on, Johnny? He also says, "Where's John?" John is not feeling well as of last night. Went to the OCB game, and he said him and his son they just woke up feeling sick today, so that's why he's not joining us tonight. He also says, "Real talk. Anything at NYCFC is always a wash. I never count this towards how we're doing. Their stadium sucks, and it's a disgrace to Yankee culture."
Good stuff. Good stuff.
And one thing before we go, I noticed that we were not broadcasting on X, and we're not broadcasting on Instagram. So
No, we
my
are. We are on
apologies.
Instagram.
Oh,
Instagram, we're
we
on.
are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I went there, and I couldn't find us, unfortunately. Um, so anyhow, but mostly X. That's where most of our audience on live comes from. So our apologies for that. Hopefully, they'll be able catch the show later on. It's technology. We're at the mercy of the platform that we're using, which is EV and if they decide to have a bad day, there's nothing we can do. But guys, any expectations about Saturday as we go to Rebels?
Uh,
Last week, John asked this: what was our scoring predictions or point predictions for the month? Um, I said 0. Maybe we draw DC at home. I'm still gonna go with. I'm still gonna go with Red Bulls. We lose. Sorry.
I I I had said 6 points. I figured with the how many games do we have this month?
We have Red Bulls left. Galaxy going at Red Bulls at Galaxy and home.
Galaxy is the 29th, right?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so it's at Red Bulls, back home for DC, and
Yeah,
then at Galaxy.
So we're getting
Galaxy
three
at
games.
10:30 Eastern time.
Yeah, I had hoped for 6 points. Because I had said one win and draws. There was 4 games. We were talking about 4 games. We're
Yeah,
off.
it was NYCFC,
Mm-hmm.
Red Bulls, DC, and
Galaxy.
Galaxy. So we
Okay, yeah.
already went through one. Yeah.
I had hoped for 1 win and 3 draws.
Whoa.
That's a long way away right now.
So you think we're gonna
Um,
draw this weekend?
but I'm gonna hope for another draw. I'm gonna hope for a draw. We can pull it off. This is the thing about this team. It's like when we don't think we can do it, they surprise us, right? So I would be happy with a draw. Please don't disappoint. I just want a draw.
Let's
A
get a
draw.
point.
It's not a lot to ask for. I'm not saying score. I'm saying if you don't score, don't let them score. It's that simple.
Oh,
I'm not saying
yeah.
I don't want anybody on the team to score. I don't care if everybody misses every shot they take on goal. I'd like to see some shots on goal, obviously, but if we don't take a single shot on goal, the least we can do is stop them from doing the same. If we
Well,
can
we
do
need
that,
more. We need more than 4 shots on goal. Isn't that what we had
well,
last time?
you know, I don't even want to talk about what we about last time because the
We
first half
need.
was just like we were asleep. I don't know. It felt like I was watching. I
Yeah.
wasn't watching the game, but I was watching the live score on my phone, and it was 0-0. And once in a while, I'd look at it, and it was like 0 shots on goal, 0 shots on goal. I'm like, what are we doing? And it was the end of the first half. So my
First half was
hopes
brutal.
for at the very least a draw. A draw. That's all. I don't care that they made it to the MLS final. That means absolutely nothing right now. This is a new
Oh no, of
season,
course not.
new teams. So you know what? A draw.
It is the
Would I love
rematch
a
though.
win? I would love a win. A win would be great, but I'll be happy with a draw. So
David, what's your prediction for this weekend?
Yeah, simple. Win, baby, win. I mean, it's that simple. Get out at least a result we need it, or we're gonna be falling deeper and deeper in the table, and then that would mean that we have breaking our worst start in MLS history.
but
Last year was
David,
our worst.
you have to think of where that positions us for the second half of the season. It'll be the best second half of the season for us.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. Like I said, that's why the puppy in and out argument is
Ah.
pointless. Is pointless. Oscar Pareja is the opossum of the football world. Playing dead, and you think like people are writing our epitaph, and here we come.
Yeah.
The fact that we ended up in we ended up one game away from MLS Cup, it insults the senses and the logic and the statistics and anything that people who claim to know football are supposed to know. So right now, like I said, I'm in a zen place uh, because I'm waiting for our 1980s photo montage, and I'm waiting for the Karate Kid theme music to kick in the background. You know what I'm saying? I'm just waiting for Oscar Pareja to throw the crane kick. That's what I'm waiting for.
So you're waiting.
That's
So
what
you're
I'm
waiting
waiting
for.
for.
You're waiting for late July.
That's it. You're absolutely right, my brother. That's what I'm waiting for. That's what I'm
Yeah.
waiting for. So that's why I'm like cool and collected. We got Leagues Cup and we got Open Cup to look forward to. By the way, next week is the first round of the quote unquote professional teams going into. So we should see ourselves in the fray come April for Open Cup. We're the favorites to win it. So you know, now that I said that, I told Oscar personally. I said, "Hey, Profe, just to remind you, we're the favorites. We gotta win it." And Oscar is coaching for his job this year. I personally have to say, man, if we end up going to two tournaments, getting nothing, and then we miss playoffs, quite possibly that's the end for Oscar. It has to be because you have given this man 6 years to build something, and I have to say that I finally OCB is producing talent and all that. So perhaps once again the Colombian menace that is Oscar Pareja comes that July comes in, and you're the best around. Nothing is gonna stop me now. Da, da, da. We're gonna have the theme music. He's gonna pull the crane, and next thing you know, we're lifting a trophy. And and Lawrence comes over and says, "You're okay, Larusso." I watch the movie. I know how it ends. So
Yeah,
I'm telling you that may be the case. So be prepared for that. Uh,
absolutely.
Now, if it doesn't happen, guys, if it doesn't happen, because last year we broke the record, because you're supposed to June 1st, you're supposed to be in playoff contention to make the playoffs. You're supposed to be on track to 50 points in order to make the playoffs. We were nowhere near that point, and we still finished fourth. For the love of God, fourth. Okay, imagine Miami spending millions on that team, only to be shown the door by Atlanta, a team that had to sell their DPS. It's insane, insane. But football's cruel and unpredictable. So hopefully this Saturday, like I said, I'm gonna be at a party for the Jewish holiday of Purim, which it gives me hope because it's the story of the Book of Esther for those that are familiar with the Bible, and is a story of a hero coming at the 11th hour to save the people. Where's our Queen Esther at Orlando City? That's what we need to find out. And on the
Pastor,
29th, when we go out to LA Galaxy, we got a result the last time we went out there. People forget that. That was the Facundo Torres' first goal.
Yep.
And there's a possibility. I actually am going to be partying the night away. There's a bat mitzvah our congregation that Saturday, and the party's at night. And obviously, my kids are invited, and we're gonna go and do that. It's awesome when it's somebody else's time, paying for everything, and somebody else's kid, stumbling on the Hebrew that is not mine. So I'm gonna party hard, and of course I'm gonna have the game on my phone. So March we have what, 3 games, right? Two away, one at home. At least, guys, at least we need 3 points. Six will be desirable. Nine will be knocking it out of the park.
9.
Knocking
oh,
it out of the park.
nice.
But like
Good defense.
again, guys, remember what we said last year around this time? We were like, Oscar Pereira is over, and guess what happened? He came back and delivered. So we already spoke for 90 minutes, and probably the fans are tired of listening to primarily me. So, guys, final words before we go.
Onward and upward from here. We need a positive next few games. I'm gonna just say positive because, like Serge Nash said in that last comment, he's like, that's why I stopped betting on OC. I'm going to see OC live with no expectation of winning at all, and we will win. So I am hoping I'm of that same mindset. So just let's do better. Do better. This is the time to do it so it doesn't come back to bite us. and we're not wondering what's gonna happen. That's it, Misael.
Definitely. Even though I said, I don't think we'll win the game. Obviously, I love the team and I do want the win. So let's go get those 3 points and prove me wrong. Shut me up. Hmm.
Awesome, awesome. All right, so we're gonna leave you the only way we know how, reminding you that football is played on grass, not on paper. That football is cruel and unpredictable. That football is a pound of talent and an ounce of luck, regardless of the size of the pitch you play on. And if you haven't cried for joy or anger over football, have you really footballed? To On behalf of everyone here at the In 90 Minutes podcast, may God bless you. And as always, vamos,
Orlando.
Orlando!